And now on Sydney Weekend, cheers with Ben Malouf. Thanks to firstvintage.com.au.
And Ben Malouf's joined me here in the studio. Benny, good afternoon.
Always a pleasure to be here.
I've got some great questions this week. People are emailing me. They love your segment.
That's what we like to hear.
Now, the first one from Margaret. Should you or can you really match wine with food? White wine with fish, red wine with beef, etc.
Oh, absolutely you can match food and wine. Look, there used to be this old adage that you had white wines with white meats and red wines with red meats. It's changed a little bit over the last 10 or 15 years, particularly as, sommeliers become really prominent in the community. I like to think of it in really basic terms and say the best way to match food and wine is to think about the style of food that you're eating. Light wines generally go better with light style foods. Big wines generally go better with big, heavy food.
Okay, but hang on. What's a light wine and what's a big wine?
So it's exactly what it says. If you pick up a wine, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and it doesn't smell like it's got overpowering aromas, that would be considered a lighter style wine. You pick up a big glass of McLaren Vale Cab Sav, and you can almost smell the berries just bursting out of the glass. That's what you would consider to be a big, heavy, gutsy style of wine. So think about a Shiraz with a piece of white fish. It wouldn't work because the really huge flavours of that red wine would overpower the really subtle flavours of a nice, light piece of fish.
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Similarly, you go get a really light Sem Sav Blanc and you match it with a piece of fillet steak with a heavy pepper sauce, you're not going to be able to taste your wine. So think about it in really basic terms. Big foods, big wines. Lighter foods, lighter wines.
Okay, if someone's listening now, what's a good red to take to a barbecue tonight?
Ooh, I'm going for a Cab Sav this week. There's a great little drop called the Hastwell and Lightfoot Cab Sav. It's a majestic little drop and it'll be really versatile with pretty much anything that's going to be on the barbecue.
Fantastic. What about if they're going to seafood barbecue?
Or I go old school when it comes to seafood. Seafood and Semillon, you just can't go past it. Some nice fresh prawns. Perhaps a Butler Crest Semillon, fresh prawns, a little bit of lemon. Perfect.
I'm starving. I had the very good fortune this week to try a glass of Petaluma Riesling, and it was first class. Majestic. Absolutely beautiful. There's a call for you, Ben. Let's go to line one. John. Go ahead, John.
Hi, guys. How are you going? First off, just love the show. I just wanted to... I got a dinner on tonight and an old mate coming around, and I just wondered if you could give me a recommendation of a good wine. Now, nothing too expensive. I don't want him to hang around too long, but something along those lines.
Everybody's got friends like that. Look, are you a white drinker or a red drinker? What do you reckon there, John?
I don't mind, but I think he likes a red.
He likes a red? Look, let's go with our recommendation we had before. That Hastwell and Lightfoot is a really, really versatile McLaren Vale Cab Sav. And it's a really safe bet regardless of what you're serving, and it's a pretty good chance that he's going to absolutely adore it if he's a red wine enthusiast.
Okay, so the McLaren Vale Cab Sav, was it?
Hastwell and Lightfoot, McLaren Vale Cab Sav.
Lightfoot, fantastic.
Where are you, John? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling in Drummoyne, actually.
Oh, okay, righto. All right, good as gold. Well,
stone's throw away. We should probably come round afterwards, I think, Dan.
I was just thinking.
There's always room for you guys.
Good on you. Thanks for the call, John.
Guys, love the segment.
Thank you very much. It's great. Great to get your call on 131873. I'm just flicking through these emails here. Oh, this one. Julia, during the week. That might be our old friend Julia with a bit of extra time on her hand. Ben, I love your segment on Dan's show every Saturday. Settle a bet for me. Can you freeze wine?
I guess that's a bit of a loaded question, and there's really two questions in one there. Can you physically freeze wine? Yes, absolutely you can freeze wine. And I hear of a lot of people who will go and get their leftover wine, put it in the ice tray, freeze it, and then use it for their cooking. So use it as part of a stock next time they need to use it because they don't want to waste the product. Should you freeze wine and then re-drink it? Look, if you went down to the butcher and you bought yourself a beautiful T-bone steak and then you left it out for a few hours and then you left it in the fridge for a few days and then you put it in the freezer after that, when you defrosted it, you wouldn't expect it to have the same sort of wonderful flavours as if you just put it on the barbecue straight from the butcher. And the same holds true with wine. Yes, you can freeze it. Would I be freezing it? Well, wine never lasts long enough in my house to freeze. but I probably wouldn't suggest that it's a great way to get the most out of your wine.
Fantastic. There you go, Julia. Thanks for the emails. You can visit Ben's website, firstvintage.com.au.
Absolutely, or check us out on Facebook. And just quickly, Dan, can I just give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Sazzy, who had a baby last week. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing little Evie very soon.
Sazzy
And
Evie.
Sazzy and Evie.
No, that's fantastic. Firstvintage.com.au, and don't forget to go to Facebook, look up First Vintage and like Ben's page, because in the next week we're going to give away some prizes, aren't we?
Done. Sounds like a wonderful thing to do.
But you've got to get on there. You've got to be one of the friends on Facebook to be in it, to win it. We're going to take a break and be back with more.